Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. I'm a UK-based Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so if you want any Stampin' Up! Products and you're based in the UK, I would love you to try out my customer service. So this is the project that I've got for you today. This is part of my homemade Christmas series, mini-series, where I'm looking at ways of just doing something homemade for a change. So this is a little gift box which actually takes a pack of Jaffa cakes. They come in a pack of 3 and you can get them in, I got these in our local supermarket. So really easy to get hold of, but obviously anything else that you want that's similar size you can put in here. The dimensions of this are 4 inches by 2 inches by 2.5, and the box is basically the same dimensions, but you've got the added bit on top. So let me just open this up and show you inside. And I've just looped one of these lovely star trinkets onto the bow. So that will actually fall off as I take this to pieces, but hey, I'll redo it, ready for the photos. And then there's our packet of Jaffa cakes. So it's not a particularly tricky project to put together. So why don't we make it now? This uses the Snowflake Splendour designer series paper, which has a whole myriad of colours in it, including Highland Heather, and the colour that I'm going to be using next, which is Pool Party. So whereas for the previous one I did kind of contrasting colours, this time I'm going tone on tone. So we're doing Pool Party on Pool Party. That's just my trinket ready to go. And of course the ribbon is, or the trim I should say, this is the metallic mesh ribbon, which is part of the Magic of This Night series or suite in the mini catalogue, but great for Christmas or winter projects as well. So let me grab my Simply Scored, and now you can make this either with North American letter or International A4 card, because we are 9.5 by 8.25. If you are using International A4, you do need to trim the tiniest hair off, because otherwise you're going to end up with an ugly base. But yeah, just so that you are aware. Okay, so with the 9.5 at the top, we are going to score at 2, 4.5, 6.5, and 9. Whoops, and 9. And while we're here, we're going to mark at 1, 3.25, 5.75. Oh no, sorry, not 5.75, 5.5, and 7.75. I knew 3/4 was in there somewhere. Turn it so that those marks are to the right, and then score at 2 inches and 6 inches. And actually I'm going to need that, so I might as well keep it out. So pop my Simply Scored away, and I'm going to grab a metal ruler, and where we've got these marks, all I'm going to do is just score diagonally. So I'm going to come in, so I'm on the cross, and then line up with the mark at the top there, and then just keep going until you've got all of your diagonals in, and then come back the other way so that we've got triangles. And I've got to make sure I get the right one here, because I've got 2. It's that one I want. Now I did have a little bit of a panic when I was putting this together, because I suddenly thought, oops, the triangles up the top are different angles, but actually, because they're only very slightly different angles, it doesn't matter. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment when we put this together. But I did, as I say, have a little bit of a panic because I thought I got my calculations all wrong, really. So just get these done, and then the rest of it's actually quite quick to put together. Other than we've got to do some stamping and colouring, but that's quite quick as well. And I've got a little trick to show you, because I'm using blends, but how to avoid blend bleed through. So I need my bone folder, always useful to have, whether you're doing boxes or cards. A bone folder is perfect to use to get nice crisp creases. I know I say it often, but a bone folder should be one of the first things you invest in. And as I say, a good bone folder, not some horrible plastic thing that doesn't really do the job properly. Now, the diagonals, or the angles, I'm just going to manipulate rather than burnish, purely because obviously they're stopping at a point, so you can't really burnish those as easily, but just manipulate them, and then we can start trimming. So grabbing my snips, let's do the bottom first. Actually no, let's do the 1/2 inch first. All we're going to do with this is angle on this middle piece and there, and then we're going to take away those two pieces. We will actually be taking away even more at the top in a moment, but I want to deal with this as if it was a square box first, so as not to confuse. So that's that. Now, if we were making this just as a straight box, we'd just cut and wrap everything around it. So the top's just slightly different, so don't worry. Right, so where we've got squares rather than rectangles, we're going to wedge slightly into the squares, just so that they don't stick out at awkward angles, and then cut straight up on the rectangle, cutting away the score line. So this is the score line. Straight would be better. There we go. Oop. And again, straight up to the so that the score line is into the square. Wedge. Straight up on your rectangle with the score line in the square, and just wedge. And you really don't need to take a huge amount out, it's going to be hidden anyway. Right, for these bits, what you want to do is just by eye take out, so you've got, it's not a quarter of, it's probably 3/8 of an inch, so it's slightly more than a quarter and slightly less than a half. It's really just to get rid of some of the bulk. And then where these points are, you just want to angle that even more. Again, I will show you that a little bit better in a moment. So let's get rid of the bulk, and then we can come back and get rid of a little more bulk. So we just want to get this bulk out of the way so that when this folds in, it's not getting caught up on itself. It's not quite such a problem with the wider triangles, but I would still get rid of bulk so that when this comes in, there isn't that bulk to worry about. And the last one like that, and then this is all your scrap, so not much in the way of scrap. And there we have our box ready to build. But before we put it together, let's pop on the designer series paper. So I'm choosing the tone on tone. Now, I thought I had been clever and actually, whoops, kept them in the right order. I had, but I probably cut them in the wrong order. Never mind, so that will go there. So yes. Oh well, it doesn't matter. So if that will go there, then that goes there, and then we'll just not worry about that one. It's the back anyway. So I'm going to use some seal, if I haven't completely buried it. No, I just can't see it. So all I'm going to do is add some seal to the back of all of my pieces, and I'm doing this before I stick them, before I stick the box together. It's much easier to stick things to a flat surface. And these are all 3 3/4 inches in width, and then 1 3/4 and 2 1/4 for the other pieces. So 3 3/4 by either 1 3/4 or 2 1/4, and you want 2 of each. And if we are matching the pattern, let's match the pattern, and then we just get this 1/8 of an inch showing all the way round. So I hope you are enjoying it. I've only just started it, but I hope you're enjoying my homemade Christmas, or handmade I should say, Christmas mini-series, particularly focusing on things other than, that's better, things other than cards. I've done quite a few cards over the last few weeks, so I thought it would be nice to do some gift packaging. I'll probably be doing some gift tags, but yeah, just a few ideas. And I will also have, which I'm going to announce any minute now, my next class kit to go, which will be around tags and gift packaging. My current class kit, the registration for that finishes today. So if you want to get involved with my December daily, today is the last day to order or reserve that, and the details will be on my website. You can go to my website just by opening the description bar below this video, and you'll find a link to the associated blog post, and that will have a link with the information about my December daily class in the mail. Right, so there we go. That's the box basically put together. The narrow pieces which we've wedged, I'm just putting in. We need to make sure this is the back. So this piece goes in next, and then the front piece just flips over. Now, for this piece, I'm actually only adding adhesive to the sides because they're the bits that are going to be potentially exposed here. For this, I'm going to put it round all 3 edges, just so that nothing is gaping, because we don't want gaping. You could use Tombow, the multi-purpose liquid adhesive for this. You could use tear and tape. I wouldn't be tempted to use seal because it's not quite as strong. But there is our box. Then you need a hole punch. This happens to be a 1/8 of an inch hole punch, but if you've got a larger punch, just go slightly further down your point and just punch, and you're going to do that on each of these points. Then this one and the last one. And then I'm going to pop this to one side for a moment whilst we do the tag, because we need to attach the tag as we put the box together. So I've got a piece of just plain Whisper White, and I have got mounted up my little sled with the bunnies carol singing, and I'm just going to grab some Memento ink and ink that up because we're going to use blends. And so I'm just checking something. Oh, okay. I think I'm using the wrong piece of card. It's fine. I can use another piece of card, or the other piece of card I've just seen, for the next bit I need to do. So there is our nice little stamp, and I've got some blends. I've got Smoky Slate, and for the previous one I used Misty Moonlight for the sledge. This time I'm going to swap those out, and I'm going to go Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, otherwise known as a light Bermuda Bay, Crumb Cake, and Highland Heather. Might not use the Highland Heather, might just stick with what we've got. Just need to find my other Pool Party, which would be useful if I could find that. Buried again, here we go. Dark Pool Party. Right, so I'm going to have my sled in light Bermuda Bay, aka Coastal Cabana. So this is going to be more monochrome than the previous one, because I am going to avoid Highland Heather, because for this particular colour scheme, Highland Heather would look odd because we haven't got any purples in the paper at all. It's all that sort of aqua. So, as I say, that's a really good, the light Bermuda Bay is a really good alternative for the Coastal Cabana. Now I can't decide. While I'm deciding what I'm going to do for the scarf, I'm going to do the bunnies. So anything that I think is in shadow is going to be in dark Crumb Cake. So their bodies, because they're kind of overlapping, and anything that is poking out from behind something. So this chap's face would be in shadow. That arm has got a scarf round it. Might put a little bit of shadow at the bottom of their chins. And then come in with the light Crumb Cake and just blend that out. I'm going to avoid colouring his tooth, because otherwise he's going to look as if he's never cleaned his teeth before, which I don't think is very attractive, personally. We don't want brown teeth. So just blend that all out. Now, some people put their light blend down first and then their dark and then blend out with the light. You can do that. You just get a slightly different effect depending on which way round you do it. There is no right or wrong way, is all I would say. There's just one way and another way. If you wanted, and I did think about it, you could bring in a pink, so something like petal pink, to do the inside of your bunny ears, but I wanted to keep the number of products down to not too many, because, yeah, just because I've got them doesn't mean we have to use them. Okay, so those are our bunnies done. Let's do the bottom of the sleigh. So I'm using dark smoky slate for the runners, and then I'm going to put a shadow down using light smoky slate, and I'm using the wide tip just because then I can just cover a wider area in one go, but you can use your narrow your bullet end if you would rather. Just make sure that you line up the shadow so that it is, you know, all the way across and isn't one height at one side and a different height at the other. And I'm just going to make sure that I go quite a bit wider than I actually need it to be, because I'm going to be punching it out. Right, okay, I'm going to go light light Pool Party on the edge of my sled and on my carol book. And then I think I'm going to go dark Pool Party and light Bermuda Bay, that's the word I'm looking for the scarf. So I'm going to go dark Pool Party on the stripes. You could get involved in doing individual stripes if you want, but on the sub basis that I'm sure you don't really want to watch me doing individual stripes, I'm going to do all of the stripes the same colour. And then just fill in the larger areas with my imitation Coastal Cabana. Right, okay, so that's that done. Then I've got one of the numerous punches I can't remember the name of, but it will be listed in the product, which will be on my website, which is, as I've said, linked below. Now, here again, you want to make sure that your shadow lines up on your punch, like that. Now it has bled, we knew it was going to, but that's where you get another piece of Whisper White. That happened to be thick Whisper White, but it doesn't matter which you use, and just punch a backing out. And then with our hole punch again, I'm just going to come in and punch, I'll go there, punch a hole, grab my little trinket, and that's going to go through the hole. And then we're going to add seal to this piece, making sure that you get some right at the top of your punched piece, because that's what's going to hold the thread in place. So you want to make sure that that piece is definitely got some seal on. The rest really isn't too much of a problem because it's all going to marry up. So hold your star where you want it, and I just like it sort of dangling down a wee bit. Come in with the gluey bit at the top, or the particularly gluey bit at the top, and just line everything up like that, and then that will then hang nicely off your parcel. So let's bring in our parcel, pop our Jaffa cakes in, grab the metallic ribbon, the metallic mesh ribbon. This is the back, so we're going to start at the front, and all we're going to do is go from the front in. You can roll it, it's quite useful like that. Out, in, and out, and then pull through. So you've got a reasonable length, and then just tuck in all the seams, for want of a better word, so that those are on the inside of your box lid. Pull, and then all your seams just tuck in without any problem at all, and then just cut your length. Probably got far too much here, but never mind. And then what I tend to do is tie a half knot first, then pop my trinket on, just loop it through, which is a whole lot easier when the camera's not actually running. Ooh, and we're at 24 minutes, which means I've only got 5 minutes left on the camera before it goes to sleep. Right, so let's go. Come along. See, now I'm under pressure. Right. Okay, so whilst I have you, do remember to subscribe. You just click the button in the bottom right-hand corner of this screen. A thumbs up is always welcome. If you've got questions or comments, please leave those in the comments section below the description bar, and I will get back to you. And do remember that the link is in the description bar. That will take you to my website. And let's just tidy that end, which has been squished. That's better. And yeah, if you're in the UK and would like to shop with me, I would be absolutely thrilled to show you my customer service. Right, so we'll tie this whilst I'm finishing off with you. So yes, thank you very much indeed for watching. Have a fantastic week. I hope you enjoy all the projects that I bring to you, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.